Alright, in Unit 2.4 we're going to start off and we're going to take a look at just linear functions and some behaviors of these linear functions so that we can start to be able to understand like their graphs and what their graphs would look like on the fly, because that's the key thing is we need to be able to understand if we see something, an equation of whatever form, what's it going to look like, and so we have that understanding. So first topic here is slope. So we got our equation for slope. Slope is the rise over the run. Rise is the change in the y. Remember delta from your science class? So change in y over the change in x. So the actual equation is we take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Alright, so that's our formula for slope. And so visually you can kind of see, that's a change in the y over the change in the x. The rise over the run. This is the rise, and this is the run. We have different types of slope. We have positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, and undefined slope. Zero slope is going to be horizontal, undefined is going to be vertical. I can't highlight and specify enough those conversations, and you'll see we'll have a separate video just on those different graphs. From there we go and we practice finding the slope. So let's say someone gives us 2 points, and so we call this guy x1, we call this y1, we call this x2, we call this y2. And it really doesn't matter which one's x1 and y1, but what is important is that you can't call this one x1 and then call this y2. If you call this one y1, this has to be, x1, this has to be y1. Okay, like we did here. So the red is you can't do that. Alright, so jumping into this guy, into our formula. So our slope is equal to our y2, negative 6, minus our y1 over our x2 minus our x1. So we get negative 10 over 4, which simplifies to negative 5 over 2. Jump into the next one, and same thing, if you want to hit pause right now and go ahead and just kind of work the next two out and see what you get, that'd be fantastic. So on the second one, we do the same thing. We've got our x1 and our y1 and our x2 and our y2. So our slope would be equal to 8 minus 8, 5 minus negative 3. So that'd be 0 over 8, which is equal to 0. So this would be a horizontal line because we have 0 slope. So when this graph of these 2 points would be horizontal. On the last example, just to kind of switch it up, let's go ahead and call this x2, y2, and x1, y1. And maybe you already did this, and you'll see you still get the same answer. So that'd be negative 10 minus 10 over negative 4 minus negative 4. So on top we get negative 20, on the bottom we get 0. And so that is, let me slide this over a little bit, that is undefined. Because you cannot divide a number by 0. When you divide something by 0, it is undefined, and so in this case here, this is a vertical line. Alright, so those are our 3 different types of slope, and we'll stop that video at that spot.